If you're looking to apply as a remote sales rep that makes anywhere between $10,000 to $30,000 a month, all while working from your laptop anywhere in the world, then in this video, we're gonna be going through the exact application process and the exact things you wanna say and not say so that they will hire you. So if you don't already know, we're documenting me going on a 30-day journey of sourcing, interviewing, and getting an offer in a high-ticket company. And today we're on day 5, which is sending out these job applications. So we're gonna get into what your application should look like in a moment here, but just to remind everyone of where we're at in the process of getting hired, we're right here on step 2, the application phase. So we've already gone through and sourced a bunch of different advertisements from companies who are actively looking to hire a high ticket closer. Okay, so this ad wants me to send an application through a Google form. So let's click on this Google form and let's go through the answers that I filled out for the application. Okay, so I'm in the Google form now. First things first, they say you want to watch this video before proceeding. And this is just going to be an introduction video about their offer, what they're selling, closing percentages. And I think this would be super, super valuable for you guys to just see like what is out there in terms of offers. So let's give this video a quick watch.
Thanks for your interest in being a closer over at. I'll give you a little background on the company. We are a dating coaching company for men. We've been doing this for the past 13 years. We help men all over the world with breaking through shyness, being able to meet and attract more women, and ultimately have more choice in dating, whether they're looking for something fun or for a serious relationship. We have packages over here that range anywhere from $1,900 to about $5,000. And we are looking for closers to come in and help as we are growing. We have a large following on social media. At this point of this video, about 1.6 million across the board via TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We also have a podcast. So we're all over, and we get a lot of people who are interested in working with us and getting coached. We also have a lot of partnerships across the board with other companies where we do their dating coaching for them and they send us leads. So you'd be closing for us, but under a white label partnership for them as well, which I can go into a little bit more detail. But let's go over what your role looks like. So right now we are trying to get to about 18% of our closing rate. So we're trying to beat that, and we're looking for you to help us do that. We need to make sure that you're doing that as well as having at least a 70% show up rate. We are right now at about 80% for a show up rate. So we need to make sure that you're at least above 70%. So we do need to see that here when you are getting your test calls. Your primary responsibilities, you'll be closing calls. We want to make sure that you are organized as hell. Yes, I am cussing here because I want you to know that if you are not organized and you are not also responsive to us in our project management software, we have to hunt you down. You'll respond for a day, 2 days. It's just not going to be a good fit for you. So you have to be very responsive and you have to be organized. You're going to be going over our full training. We have SOPs. What's cool over here is we also have some trainings on just how to be a better closer. Hopefully you've gone through your own training, but we have that over here as well. So you have to be very organized and understand how to just work software and be able to be a fast learner. And of course, a team player. It's not just about you, but it's about everyone and all of us working together. And most importantly, we're selling coaching packages that are changing guys' lives. And so just know that you're over here. When you're selling a program, you are part of changing a person's life. We have gotten people to the point where they've gotten married, when they've had kids. I mean, you name it, we've been able to really get some great results for guys. Let's talk about the leads for a second. It's various quality. So that means that we are very creative over here at getting leads from different sources. We have different partnerships. We also have a lot of leads coming in due to the fact that we do not have a very intensive application process. We have found over the years, which is contrary to a lot of what other companies do, is that we don't want to have a long application process where we're scaring people away. We want to get on the phone with you. We found out we've actually generated more revenue from taking more calls versus trying to get on with the most high qualified people possible and trying to maintain some sexy closing rate of 70, 80%. We found we made more revenue trying to sell as many people as possible and closing at around 15 to 20%. Obviously, we want to beat that. That's not what we're necessarily happy with. We will be happy with more, but this is not a good position for you if you're looking to come in and think that every call you're going to get is set by a setter, fully qualified. You will get on the phone with people who, may not be a good fit. You might have to follow up with them later. They might be completely broke. We do have options to help people with that, but, you're going to be getting on a lot of calls and you get more opportunities to sell, which in turn is going to make you more money. So that is the lead quality. If you're looking for the most high quality leads for every single call that you get, I don't know many positions that have that unless you've been a closer there for many, many, many years. And even then, this is just not going to be a role for you. However, we pay very well, higher than the standard. We give 15%. You do not have to earn 15%. You get that from day zero. We have bonuses in place. So if you hit a certain amount collected, you will be getting bonuses. And if you are successful and you are a good closer and you're hitting these percentages and beating them, then you are getting at least 10K per month, potentially more depending on, how well you actually do. So we have a program over here that has worked. It works. It's been proven. We are not a new company. So hopefully this is a potential fit for you. Thank you for watching this video. Any other questions that you have, you can always bring up on our interview, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Real quick, if you want to skip the line on your remote closing journey and just speed up the process, one of the links in the bio, you can directly book a free 15-minute call with me where I can personally give you advice on what I would do in your situation. So click down below to book that, and I'll talk to you soon. So this is a nice opportunity because they've been around for a long, long time. They've got tons of reviews and case studies already, and their closing rate sucks. It's at 18%, and standard in the industry is between 20 to 30%, but 20% is considered like kind of sucky. So at 18%, they're really not hitting it. Their payments are 15% commission, which is, he's right, above average. So if they're selling a $5,000 offer, you're making $750. I'm in Canada, so that's actually like more like $1,000 per close for me. So overall, all the stuff he's saying is great. Also, his lead sources are coming from YouTube, and they've got over 1 million subscribers. Hell yes, those are the best leads to close out on. Let's write this application to get in so no other closer is taking our position. Did you watch the video above? Yes, I did. First and last name, that's my name. What's your email? Email. Phone number. Phone number. What's your IG or Facebook handle? I just directly put in my handles. Okay, I didn't put any links. I put the handles because he didn't ask for the links, so I put the handles. What's your age? 24. Where are you based? Vancouver, Canada. How many years have you been a sales closer? I've been a sales closer for over 2 years now, around 4 years. So I just put 2+ years. How many hours of sales calls have you done? You can estimate. So I put in 550 sales calls hours, so maybe around 550 calls that I've taken. If I am closing at 20%, then that's around 100 of those calls that I have closed. So that seems like about right. I've seen other people where they put on the applications that they've done like 5,000 hours or 10,000 hours of this kind of stuff. And you do not want to over exaggerate in these instances. Like, you really do not want to over exaggerate. So I put like 550 as a realistic number, but I think you shouldn't really go above like 2,000 hours, maybe 3,000 hours, because then that just seems like crazy high. Do you have formal training? I put yes. If you don't have formal training, it's okay. You can put no. If you don't have experience, I would just like, how many years have you been a sales closer? And you don't have any experience, just say like the lowest, under 6 months, of course. If you have formal training, no. If you don't have it, say no. If yes, where did you get trained? I would, if you haven't been trained, but you've been watching YouTube videos or stuff, I would just say like, yes, I have training. Where did you get trained? And just put anything that you've been reading or watching. So you can put my YouTube channel in here. You can put different programs that have been for free that you've gone through, different books that you've been reading. You don't want to make this answer like a paragraph type thing. Just give him the exact names of things. If he doesn't know the names, that's on him. That's all right. He just wants to see that you've got some kind of training under your belt and you're not coming in here with like nothing. Okay, so these are all like the basic questions that you can't do much about. But then after here is really the main questions that he's going to be looking for, which is what's your biggest strength as a closer? What's your biggest weakness as a closer? What do you enjoy about being a closer? Why do you want to work for this company? So, what is your biggest strength as a closer? I wrote down my ability to listen to the prospect and be curious about them. I found that when the prospect does 80% of the talking and I'm just the person to nudge slash challenge their beliefs throughout the call, it's a massive strength. I was born asking why, and it extends into all my conversations extremely naturally. I want to get a full picture of their life for my own sake. So this is me just painting the picture that like I was born this way where I like asking questions. Now, there are certain characteristics and traits that makes for a good closer. One of those things is the ability to listen. One of those things is the ability to ask questions. One of those things is the ability to find out problems. Okay. So if you can communicate any of those things in there, that like you just have this natural ability to do any one of those three things, then that's going to go a long way in this application. So I personally just touched on the ability, like I like to listen and I like to ask why. I like to ask questions. Like those are traits that make up for a good closer. So you want to mention that. What's your biggest weakness as a closer? So this is, I mean, these are those trick questions that you'll get on interviews as well. Now, you do not want to just go in there and say, like, my biggest weakness is that I don't have respect for authority and I hate showing up to meetings or I'm late all the time. Like, no. Okay. What you want to do is frame like, and you also can't say I'm a perfectionist. That's my weakness. I'm too perfect. Never say that. Okay. It's just overused and trite at this point. The answer to this weakness question is you want to put like a weakness that's not even really that bad of a weakness, and then also just talk about how you have put systems in place to overcome this weakness. So what I said here is my biggest weakness, to be totally frank, has been putting my attention toward the small details. And then I kind of be a little vulnerable here and share some mistakes I've made in the past, which they're definitely looking for. They want you to admit to faults and negatives in your life. Like, how honest is this person? So I said, I've noticed myself forgetting to upload call recordings in my pipeline or write an end of day report, which honestly, guys, like everyone has done in the past, like every single closer. And some of the best ones I know, they're not super great at like the admin work, you know, like filing your stuff at the end of the day and putting up your call recordings, your notes, your follow-ups. Like, they're not the best at that stuff. They're just good at talking to people. But usually managers will get on their ass and be like, no, you've got to do this. But like everyone's been through that. So I'm just sharing something that like everyone's had. And then I also said, like, when I did a lot more video editing work, I tended to have these little spelling mistakes, right? Which again, like, who hasn't spelled a thing wrong? Okay. But it's a genuine weakness. So then I said, the way I found I can work around it is intentionally setting times once a project is done to reread, double check it before I give the approval or sign off at the end of the day. So that probably could be worded a little bit better, but it's basically me saying, like, that's something I struggled with in the past. Okay. But now I have systems that fix this so it does not happen and it will not affect you or this company. You'll also notice one of his requirements as a closer was he wants them to be organized as hell. So for me to say lack of detail as a weakness is like, you know, wow, Ethan, like, should you say that? He specifically said he's looking for organized people. And it's like, yeah, like, it's fine, especially if you're saying like what you've done to overcome that weakness. Next up is, what do you enjoy about being a remote closer? Okay, so let's just talk about in general, what are the benefits of being a remote closer? Okay, you have selfish benefits and reasons you like it, and then you have unselfish reasons. So the selfish reasons are like, yeah, I get to work remotely, I get to travel wherever I want, I get a high income. Those are selfish reasons. I get to buy cool cars and food and blah blah blah. The unselfish reasons, though, are, I like to do this because I get to change people's lives, I get to challenge their beliefs, I get to grow people. And so the best one of these answers is, I'd say, more focusing on the unselfish reasons, okay? Especially in like a document application like this. If you're on a formal interview, it might be a little bit better just to do a combination of the two. And just to be frank, guys, like in real life, when you're in these positions, probably like 70-80% of like why you do what you do is for like the selfish reasons, and like 20 or 30% is like the unselfish reasons, in most cases. And that's fine to like understand and know, but in these kinds of contexts, you want to push for the unselfish reasons. So in this case, I said, I enjoy talking to people all day and challenging people's beliefs. I'm fascinated with the idea that we all have these core beliefs we never question that hold us back from accomplishing our dreams. To me, to be the person that gets to bring that to light and possibly make a permanent change is unbelievably fulfilling to me. So a few keywords in here is like challenging people's beliefs, which is a role of a closer. I like doing that, and the best closers challenge people's beliefs. If you haven't read a book called The Challenger Sale, highly recommend that. YouTube bio below. I also say fulfilling. This is a position that is fulfilling to me. Why is it fulfilling? Because I get to help people accomplish their life dreams, right? You want to, in some sense, like share why it's fulfilling and have like a good reason. You can't just say, oh, it's fulfilling to me because I get to make a lot of good money, right? Like this is a genuine reason why it's fulfilling to me, right? It genuinely changes people's lives. And this is all true, right? It's all true. So I put that in here. Are you open to feedback? Of course, you want to say yes. A big thing these guys are looking for is how coachable are you? How coachable are you is a big part of it. I know when you're applying to some offers and you have like tons of experience in the offers and the world in which you are applying to. Let's say you're a real estate agent selling a real estate investing offer, whatever it might be. That can definitely be a bonus for you. But a lot of the times the business owner is like, shit, like I have to like coach this person on all our new stuff, and they have to unlearn all this old traditional BS stuff. So in my application right here, why do I want to work for I've kind of got some history with relationships and getting better in that field, but I'm letting them know, like in my video application in here, that I'm open to coaching. I'm open to learning more, even though I know a decent amount about relationships at this point. I want to learn and grow and expand my knowledge. That is beautiful. You want to say that. You want to communicate that. When I was 13 years old, entering high school, I was the fat, chubby kid with a rack of braces on my teeth. I got no attention from women whatsoever and developed some pretty bad habits to cope with it. That I had to learn to break over time. At 20, I switched my dating life around by hiring a coach. And even though it wasn't, it was life-changing for me. And I will advocate for anyone struggling with their dating life to put some money into it, which is like, cool. There you go. I didn't actually like technically hire a coach, by the way. I like just invested a shit ton of time into coaching videos and products on my relationship, but it's like the same kind of core message I'm trying to say. So why do you want to work for like this company? You've got to relate your answer back to your story of where you're at in your life right now and where you're trying to go. Like, how do you see this fitting into your vision? So for me, my whole life story has led me to this offer. Like my past history has led me to here where I am today. But if you're just starting your journey or your life, this is the start of your story. So you want to say more like, if it's a real estate investing offer, like I 100% see myself being a real estate mogul in like 10, 20 years. And I'm going to be damn well sure putting my money into something like this offer as soon as I have the funds to do so. And I believe it more than anything else. And so I'm saving up my money to buy real estate. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's if you're future pacing your life and you're using their offer as like a leverage point to get there. Whereas in this case, I'm saying like, I want to work in your offer because my past relates to your life. And it's led me to this point where I'm more secure and confident in my relationships and I believe in it. And I want to have the same change in men's lives that I had in my life when I was 20 years old. So it's just, you want some congruency with your story. Next up is please link a recording of a sales call. Doesn't matter if it was closed or not. I mean, do a call that closed, ideally, or one where your just cadence is on the ball and you're really following the script. So I linked your $3,000 close that I made on Wednesday, which was like the day before this, which is pretty funny. It's like, hey, I'm closing 24/7, which is definitely a bonus. If you don't have this, what I would do is I would record a mock call with a friend. Don't let them know it's a mock call. Just link a call where you have like a 15-minute back and forth with a friend where you're setting an appointment with them and you're going through the whole mock call process, which I have videos on that you can watch of how to record that, what to say, what not to say, that kind of thing. So record that, make sure it's like fantastic, and then link it in here. Can you work in USA time zones? Yes. What's your calendar availability to take calls? We're looking for someone to give us a minimum 5 days per week, 8 hours per day. We would accept part-time only if that part-time work is Saturdays and Sundays for 6 to 8 hours each day. You want to be as open and flexible as possible. So what I'm saying is I'm available to work full-time or part-time hours, but would prefer to work part-time, less calls, but take calls every single day of the week. And I'm not just saying like I'm not saying but take calls 7 days a week. Like I'm phrasing it as if it's like, guys, I'm willing to take calls every single day of the week. Like I would prefer part-time, but like I'm going for it. I'm going to take calls every single day of the week, right? You don't got to make a long answer for this, but you do want to be flexible and open to like, hey, like I'm open to whatever, right? Even if your schedule doesn't allow for it right now type thing, like you just want to be very open and communicate, like I'll make it work, right? Because realistically, I mean, you got a job right now, whatever, it's not paying you so well. If you got this job and you're wanting to put like all your chips, marbles into it, like, yeah, you're going to be willing to hand in your 2 weeks notice at your job as soon as this job's paying you out money. Maybe you got to take a week vacation from that job to make this work. Whatever it is, you got to make this dream come true. You got to make this a reality. You got to get hired in this company, and that's going to take some flexibility on your end to get hired. So I knew this guy who I was coaching on how to get this offer. And within like 2 weeks, this guy was on an offer. But as soon as he got in the offer, he like was basically requesting time off. Like in the first week, he's like, yo, I can't work like all these days because I got personal matters to take care of, which I totally get. People have situations, stuff comes up, you got to deal with it. But in like the first week to just say like, hey, I can't work, it's like, come on, man. Like, why are you even here, right? Are you really like dedicated to this? Like, you cannot do that. If you're going up on an offer, the first week, 2 weeks, really the first month, you've got to just be putting everything to the side and putting all your energy into this and show you're an A player that's willing to show, like you want to show the best side to you. So little tangent there, but that's what your availability should be. What's the soonest date you can start taking calls? I would make that sooner rather than later. Like if you're sending this on a Wednesday, you should make this like the Friday, like the end of the week sort of thing. Or like within 2 days of you sending this application. So today's like the 5th. I'm saying like, yo, I can take calls on the 7th. Like, let's go. Like, I'm ready to go like right now. You don't want to make this say like tomorrow because you need some time to like do the training, watch the videos. Usually a training period is like a week, but still, if you're like, I only need 3 days, I only need 2 days, that shows some urgency and some like drive and passion. Like, yo, I'll go through the training right away and then let's hop on calls. Let's go. So you want to have the sweet spot, 2 to 3 days. Why should I hire you over any other closer? So this is a really great question because he wants you to sell him in an application. So what's the best way to sell on a sales call? It's using logic and emotion, right? Numbers and feelings. And so it's really hard to incite feelings over messages if you're not even like talking to them, you don't know anything about their situation. So I just went the logic route and the numbers route. So what I said was, you should hire me as a closer because I will take your closing rate from 18% to 30% over the next year, right? So I'm referencing what they're currently closing at, showing that I've researched the company. On your $5,000 offer at 5 calls per day, 6 days a week, we're talking about a production of 180,000 versus 105. By the end of the year, I would have made you an extra $900,000. And that's just on my sales calls alone. Imagine I transfer over that closing percentage to other members on your team, right? Because they're hiring other closers. So now I'm saying like, yo, I'm going to make you an extra 900K by the end of the year. Plus, if you've got 5 other closers, they're each going to make 900K more every year too. So dude, I'm basically going to make you a millionaire. So like, let's do this. And I might even like add that. So let's do this. Like something like that, where you're showing like some kind of cheeky line at the end there. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, I'm obviously like the best guy for this. Like, let's freaking do this. And then finally, if you'd like to introduce yourself, please link a screen share Loom below. Now, I linked my Loom, which you can see in another video, a whole breakdown of what this Loom is, because this Loom, guys, is so important. This is essentially the part in the process where you're submitting your 1-minute standout video. And guys, I'll tell you, like, I used to get hundreds of applications to work in my agency, and sometimes I would just scroll to the very bottom of this document and see if they linked a Loom video or not. If they didn't link a Loom video, I would just go to the next application. Because if they can't link a Loom video, it's like, you can't follow directions. I mean, to be fair, he is saying if you'd like to, you can do this. But I would take that as like, you should do this. Oftentimes I'd get people explaining like, oh, my mic's not working. Oh, my camera's not working. Oh, I'm a little sick. I can't do it. And they'd give me some bullshit explanation. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, I do not care. Don't send me an application that's half filled out. So yeah, like if they're asking for a loom, send over a loom. If they're asking for a Wistia video, send them a Wistia video. If they're asking for a YouTube video, send them a YouTube video. Like, this is showing, can you take direction in what I am telling you to do? And anything other than yes, you're not going to get on the team. So I sent them a loom video. It was like 3 minutes breaking down who I am, why I like their offer, how I found their offer, why I think it's a good fit, what I'm looking for, how I think I can help them. And I'm asking for a quick like screening interview where I can talk with them.